Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphaname. Let's jump right into an article here. This is on ambcrypto.com and it's titled XRP Settlement, a turning point in U.S. crypto regulations. If that happens, it definitely will be. It looks like we have the SEC in a chokehold. You know, the Henman documents, do they want that to come out? Do they not want to come out? Will that force them to settle? Who knows? Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, speculations have been swirling around the XRP SEC case, particularly regarding the likelihood of an XRP settlement. However, recent statements from Jeremy Hogan and Brad Garlinghouse have added another layer of complexity to the potential outcome of the case. All I want is a victory. That's all I want. And for that price to explode, let's get it started. That's all I need. The particulars of it are not as important as in a victory outright, in my humble opinion. You just let me know how you feel. You may feel differently. I can respect that. Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you do enjoy this video, I would appreciate if you click that little like button. That would help out a lot. I would greatly appreciate it. It says, is an XRP settlement on the cards? The notion of a potential XRP settlement has undoubtedly occupied the minds of numerous Ripple versus SEC lawsuit observers. The outcome carries immense significance. I'm going to be completely honest. I only care about the significance for the utility coins right now, the bank coins in particular. And we throw in a couple of utility coins, VeChain, throw VeChain in there, Polygon, some of the ones that, you know, went parabolic before, and we hope they go parabolic again. Batcoin. It says, the outcome carries immense significance as it has the potential to shape the regulatory landscape in the United States. Oh, I have another good article coming up. A lot of good minds are calling for a nice run soon. Let's hope that happens. We'll get to that article in a moment. You can jump to chapters if you want to. Currently, the landscape lacks a comprehensive framework for overseeing the sector. Yes, but I agree with a lot of subscribers here that have been in the comment section, agree that I believe the United States will copy the MiCA legislation from Europe. Europe is rolling full steam ahead. 2024 is the year it seems that everything is going to get forced to move forward, forced, because the rest of the world, they can't wait anymore. Europe can't wait anymore. They have to implement the new financial system, especially with the world becoming a multipolar world. China's on the rise, BRICS nations is on the rise. And here's the difference. See, look, a lot of people for decades, sure, have been calling for the downfall of the dollar, saying the dollars, you know, is going to be removed from its reserve currency status. Here's the difference. Now, countries are actually dumping the dollar. That's the difference. That's a significant difference. Before, it was just talk. Now, it's being actuated. So for this, I think it would be logical. I think the most logical outcome would be a stalemate of sorts where everyone says, listen, we can all coexist. We don't have to destroy each other. And there'll be a more balanced world as far as, you know, what is considered reserves. You know, you got gold as a reserve. You have dollars at the top of the heap, of course. But I think that other currencies, especially common currency from BRICS, is going to be on the rise. And that's going to need an intermediary for everyone to deal with each other. They can't exist without each other. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And that's great for the new financial system. Think about it for a minute. So they need each other for products. You know, Europe relies heavily, so does the United States, on products from China, products from Brazil. They're going to still have to interact. So you have a lot of authorities from Europe saying, oh, we want to decouple. That's the word they're using now. Decouple from China. Okay, well, how do you do that without being injurious to your own people on the ground, regular people, you know, and of course, China knows that they have the world also in a stranglehold, you know, because of everything that they provide. You see, the United States now is starting to develop their own semiconductors. There's a big race for semiconductors. Have you been seeing this? Which obviously is going to make a lot of people a lot of money who understand commodities and what has to be used to make semiconductors. But that's a completely different discussion. I know I'm throwing a lot at you right now, but let's consider it. Yesterday, I had a slow day. Oh, my goodness. There was a heck of a day yesterday. So now I'm going to give you a lot. All right. So I appreciate every single one of you out there, man. I hope you're having a great weekend. I know a lot of you spending time with your family. All right. Alphaneme is giving you a little love also. All right. OK, so now let's continue on here. It says Jeremy Hogan recently offered his insights, introducing the pattern he noticed in the timing of XRP case rulings. Well, we read a little bit about that. This prediction emerged in response to a recent interview with Brad Garlinghouse. Yeah, so listen, we covered an article about that recently where Hogan is calling for like a mid-July ending of the case. This is what he's saying. It's not a guarantee, but it's very similar to what Brad Garlinghouse said. I'll take it. I want it. Let's go. Let's get it going. All right. But inevitably, always remember it's in the judge's hands and no one else knows when the judge is going to do whatever the judge is going to do. So we have to remain patient. We really don't have a choice, right? If we want to see that golden era come in, no pun intended. So it says here, the Ripple XRP SEC request about the Hinman documents. According to AMB Crypto's report on May 16th, Judge Annalisa Torres issued a ruling that granted public access to certain documents. The documents included the Hinman document. Ripple and SEC have jointly requested an extension to disclose that we know about. Let's scroll down, see if we have anything else that they're going to say that we don't know about. They go into the acquisition, of course, XRP price trend. Okay, let's move on to another article here. All right, we're going to make today a great day, good day. We're going to make tomorrow a great day, good day. Okay, we persevere. This article here is from CoinGape.com. And it's titled, "The U.S. market is very important for Ripple." John Deaton says, I've been saying that for a long time, haven't I? There's a reason why they haven't left. They can dominate in the rest of the world if they wanted to. They could flip the switch in the rest of the world if they wanted to. But they've held back. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, it has been more than 2.5 years since the lawsuit between the blockchain payments firm Ripple Labs and the SEC. Let's skip that little part there. It says, in a recent Twitter chat, one of the vocal XRP advocates revealed that Brazilian bank Rendimento was the first to adopt Ripple's blockchain for payments entirely in the cloud. According to him, the company has recorded tons of such partnerships, but the impact is not reflected in the price of its underlying cryptocurrency, XRP. Wait a minute, remember what I said. Look it up for yourself. Price suppression is nothing new. A lot of big corporations just got through a lawsuit about the price suppression of silver. And if they will suppress the price of silver, allegedly, they won that case, by the way. So now I guess they're clear. That doesn't mean they didn't do it. That just means they're clear legally. All right. This is what the lawsuit was about. This is what the articles were saying. But if they would suppress the price of silver, which is just predicted to go past maybe $30 at the end of this year, which is good gains, by the way, for anybody who got in at a low long ago. But what do you think that they would do to XRP? I love silver, by the way, but I love gold more. And I love platinum a little bit. I love platinum. Anyway, random information for you. So let's go here. So yes, they definitely could suppress the price of XRP. My humble opinion, just my humble opinion. Look up everything I say. You don't have to take what I say. You know, you can look it up. All right. Make up your own mind. It says here, while the Brad Garlinghouse-led firm is making significant business strides in foreign markets, Deaton said the U.S. remains an important one for the company. Quote, some have argued that I'm wrong when I say, quote, people grossly underestimate the damage the lawsuit has caused Ripple and XRP. People cite Ripple's growth outside the U.S., but the U.S. market is very important. Ripple isn't even offering XRP for its own liquidity hub platform. It says, according to insights revealed by the aforementioned XRP advocate that recalled the Rendimento update, the bank said it will not make use of the digital currency because of regulatory reasons. It's the same thing we heard from South Korea, right? There was a big CEO from South Korea to say, hey, look, we're waiting on a positive outcome from the Ripple case. That's why I'm saying once this case is over, there's no more excuses. Once this case is over, we might see an explosion. It's not financial advice. But logic would dictate if they're all holding back because of that, would that not I'm going to say it's necessary, but would it not be reasonable to believe the possibility is very high for a flood of capital? And if there's a flood of capital, do you believe that XRP's price is going to stay where it is now? I mean, you let me know. This is like a team. This is a team over here, right? So you let me know in the comment section. What do you think? Right? I'm interested to hear. All right. So it says, while mainstream payments firms turned their backs on Ripple, crypto native trading platforms who also delisted XRP for trading, a move that stirred outrage from the community. Well, we know all of that stuff there. Okay. All right. So then we're going to go into another article here. So random. Since Memorial Day is coming up, everybody spending family time, let me share a little Memorial Day memory of mine. Now, We have one of our best subscribers here is named Keith. And I was telling Keith in the comment section, I don't know if he saw my reply or not. I was telling Keith that one of my favorite uncles of all time is named Keith. And that's a memory I'm going to share now. It's about Uncle Keith. See, when we were younger, we would go out to the suburbs. We were from a very big city. We would go out to the suburbs and Uncle Keith had a basketball court. It was like down the street. And he would throw these big barbecues, family get together. All the family would get together, you know. And so we take the basketball, me, my brother, a few cousins, and we go to the courts and we're shooting. I mean, we're hooping. You know how competitive we are. We come from a warrior family. We're having fun, but we're going to war. War. I'm doing all types of Allen Iverson crossovers. I'm doing Michael Jordan's fadeaway. Oh, and I was good. I was very good. From practice. I practice. Everything that I do, I practice hard. Everything. I have this mentality. I know, like, I have some talent at certain things, and I believe in my intelligence and strategy. But if there is someone better, I'm going to outwork you. I will work on something so hard. I mean, night and day. I can't sleep until I master it. But I had not reached a point of mastery at that time. So, you know, everybody else that I'm playing, except for my big cousin, of course, but I expected my big cousin, you know, he's going to be good. He's way taller than me, stronger. And he's just dunking. That didn't mean anything to me. If you're just dunking on me, I don't care about that. But are you shooting better than me? You shooting a higher percentage? So I put him to the side. Everybody else, I'm dominating. All the other kids are coming to the playground. I'm dominating. And then Uncle Keith shows up. Oh, you think because it's my uncle, I'm going to take it easy on him. You think that? You haven't been watching for too long. It doesn't matter who it is. Listen, in a warrior family, you have to prove yourself. You cannot at any point be weak. Uncle Keith steps onto the courts. I'm thinking, oh, he's done. I'm going to beat him so badly. He never wants to play again. He gets out there, that old school defensive stance. I get the dribbling. I'm crossing him over. He's staying in front of me. I go up for a layup. Bang. And I mean, listen, when I tell you back then, I was in peak condition. I mean, look, I box, I do taekwondo, I do wrestling. I was in peak condition. When I tell you I could jump out the gym back then, I could jump with the best of them. And he just so effortlessly glides up and just smacks the ball out the air. I'm flabbergasted. I go again, layup, boom, does it again. I'm like, oh, what the? I start shooting from the outside. So now I'm making it, boom. I'm doing fadeaways. I'm adjusting. I am adjusting. Just like when I played chess against my father or chess against my teachers in school. Yeah, we played a lot of chess. I would adjust, and I'm adjusting. And I'm saying to myself, okay, well, I'm up on him a couple points. We're just going to like 20. I got him. Just have to be smart. And when he goes up, he turns to the side. I'm like, what is he doing? He shot the hook shot. As this ball is carouseling through the air, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he's making the shot. Nothing but net. Immediately panic goes into my chest because I know this hook shot. This is the Kareem Abdul unstoppable hook shot. And this man is fading away from the basket, shooting a hook shot. And when I tell you it was unstoppable, I'm leaping, I have my hand in his face, and he's going for it every time. Now he's smiling and he's laughing. Holy smokes, he destroyed me that day. Not like destroyed, but like in basketball, like in the game way. He dominated, and he lit a fire under me. I mean, I was practicing every day that I could till I saw him again. But the next time we meet up, well, that's another story. All right, so now let's get back to these articles here. So this article is on u.today and it's titled, Ripple CTO shares views as Hinman documents near release. A big moment is coming. I can't wait. Oh man, we need to get over these little hurdles, and it's getting to be exciting times, I'll tell you that. It says, as expectations build up, so do speculations as to whether Ripple would agree to make the Hinman documents public. Schwartz responds to such speculations by saying that although he is no lawyer, he does not think Ripple can agree not to make them public. Okay, it's a rather peculiar way to say that. He adds that the judge has ruled that they are judicial documents and that no factors outweigh the public's right to access them. Remember that these are unredacted, by the way. You know, I know I had a lot of people sharing their thoughts on this particular topic here, but it seems to me by what they're saying that the public's going to be able to see the unredacted versions of this. And so let's continue on here. It says, since the lawsuit was initiated, and like I said, let me clarify, whether people see them or not, all I want is for Ripple to win, right? We're here to make money, correct? And then the whole of crypto, and this is why I say that the whole of crypto, as far as the utility coins, the bank coins, should be theoretically set free because their use cases are so similar. That's what I want. Let these companies move forward. Let these companies thrive, and let's see what they can do. That's how I feel. It says, since the lawsuit was initiated, Ripple has maintained that it remains on the right side of the law. Shortly after the Hinman documents were released to Ripple in October, but under seal, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said, quote, the shamefulness, unquote, of the SEC's behavior would be shocking. So something in those documents is shocking if we are to go by and trust Brad Garlinghouse's word. We'll see. We shall see. It says crypto law founder John Deaton recounts one of the judge's decisions, which highlighted the SEC's, quote, hypocrisy, while saying that the SEC's lawyers, quote, lack a faithful allegiance to the law. Whoa. Oh, man. I'm telling you, I feel a victory coming. I could be wrong, but I feel a victory coming. Crypto Law asks an important question on Twitter, quote, why did the SEC fight so hard to stop us from ever seeing these documents, unquote? Good question. It answered, quote, on June 13th, we'll finally know. On June 13th, public redactions of Hinman documents, cross motions for summary judgment, and others are expected to be filed. This is where it gets confusing here. I read an article the other day. It said unredacted. And then I see other articles that say there's redacted versions. I don't know. We'll see what we'll see what happens. Once again, I just need them to win this case. That's it. That's all I need. All right. Meanwhile, whales continue to accumulate XRP as optimism builds, of course, but they're not just accumulating XRP. A lot of these whales are well diversified, and they understand which assets are going to be going up very soon for a myriad of catalysts. There's a lot of catalysts in the air right now, and things are beginning to change. So now let's go here to another article. So this article is from dailycoin.com and it's titled Ripple CEO confident of victory. It says the public release of these documents, the Hinman documents, is anticipated around June 13th. Garlinghouse believes this development emphasizes the lack of clarity surrounding regulatory matters, despite the appeals and requests from leaders across the cryptocurrency industry. While determined to persist in the legal fight, CEO of Ripple acknowledges that the ongoing conflict with the SEC, coupled with the absence of clear regulations in the United States, has compelled many industry participants to relocate or outsource their operations. Yeah, a lot of people going outside the United States, but that we know. But the continued, positive energy coming from Brad Garlinghouse about the case, that's what's really important. It tells you a lot how an individual carries themselves, the energy of that individual as far as what they're going through at that time, if something is very important to them. Brad Garlinghouse's energy tells me that things are looking very good, going very well. It's like that with a lot of individuals in the world. Their energy tells you everything about what they're going through. You can, even with me, you can tell when I'm having a rough day, like my energy might be a little bit lower, maybe I'm sick or maybe something happened in my life, and then days like today where, maybe resilient and things are going well and your energy is high and you're just casting off this good vibration, for lack of a better word. So we're going to stop there with that one and let's move on to another article. I want to try to get through as many as I can today. I have so many articles I have at times where I don't get through all of them. It says here, this article is from ph.investing.com and it's titled Ripple versus SEC Coinbase Connection. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So Ripple Labs versus SEC legal battle has taken yet another intriguing turn. This time with speculation surrounding the potential involvement of Coinbase, a leading US-based crypto exchange. This discussion was initiated by a tweet from Mr. Huber, a well-known crypto enthusiast and Twitter user operating under the handle @Learzeet. Mr. Huber's tweet pondered the possibility of Coinbase requesting access to the highly coveted, quote, Hinman emails. SEC, you might be in trouble. I don't know if this is something that could come to pass, but the SEC is in trouble. And you know what's interesting? This is the time where if other crypto companies know they have to go against the SEC, they might as well just leap in now and all fight at the same time and benefit from what Ripple has going on. Make the push now. That's how I personally feel. Doesn't seem like they're going to do that. But I suppose that they believe that if the SEC comes after them, that they can just simply just use the precedents that have been set anyway. Look, I'm not a lawyer either. I have to say that I'm not a lawyer. And I'm sure that these companies are going to have the top of the line legal teams put together. But just as a casual observer, all right, a humble researcher, I think that you should all fight at the same time. And like Coinbase is trying to do now, use what's going on to your advantage. The same way that Ripple and their legal team, I believe they're attempting to use certain precedents that were set in the LBRY case, right? All right, so it says, the Hinman emails named after William Hinman. Oh, well, we know that. Let's scroll down here. It says, however, Mr. Huber doubts that Coinbase would willingly immerse itself in anything remotely connected to the Hinman emails. All right, that's interesting. Let's hear a little bit more as to why you think that. He hinted at Coinbase's entanglement in the legal complexities and suggested the exchange was already privy to Hinman's actions on March 18th. Okay, so I see where you're going with this. That makes sense to me. It says John Deaton said that Coinbase could ask for the Hinman emails as well if Ripple agrees to not make them public. I don't think Coinbase will ever comment or even get close to anything remotely related to Hinman. It says they were involved in the whole mess themselves. Is that so? All right. It says Ripple's chief technology officer, David Schwartz, responded to Mr. Huber's tweet to shed light on the matter, though he cautiously mentioned that he is not a lawyer. Schwartz indicated that Ripple might lack the authority to agree to keep the emails confidential. He referred to a recent judge's ruling emphasizing that the emails were considered judicial documents and that the public's right of access outweighed any potential counter arguments. Another Twitter user contributed to the conversation by sharing their interaction with someone they believed to be John Deaton. Was it him or not? Like, how do you mean it? What do you mean you believe it to be him? Oh, there's a lot of fakes on the internet, but isn't it easy to reach out to John Deaton? I would think. I'm not sure. A crypto lawyer associated with the case, the person inquired whether a settlement could include a provision to prevent the release of the emails. I would think that's possible in a settlement. They could negotiate, but Ripple could say no, right? Deaton's supposed response humorously alluded to the unlikelihood of such an outcome. All right, so let's move on to another article here. So this article is from the dailyhodl.com and it's titled, Former Goldman Sachs Executive Says Clear Bull Trend About to Manifest. I'll take it muy lindamente. Let's get a little bit of money. Can we make a little bit of money? Let's go. We'll begin here. All right. It says Real Vision founder and macro expert Raoul Pal is doubling down on his stance that crypto and tech assets are setting up for explosive bull runs. What's the time? He has to give a timeline on this. I have a timeline in mind when I think a true bull run will kick off, and there's catalysts for that, but I need to hear what his are. It says Powell tells his 995,000 Twitter followers that the NASDAQ, which indexes mainly technology companies, is an example of a nonstop macro uptrend that always catches traders off guard. Powell's chart suggests the NASDAQ 100 index is trading well at a discount and likely destined for much higher prices. I agree with that, right? It says, quote, the biggest and most persistent macro trend on earth is the one that gets the most pushback from many, the exponential age of technology. It can't be clearer. The former Goldman Sachs executive also says that Bitcoin is another example of a clear uptrend in innovative technology. Says the secular bull trend in technology, which Powell calls the exponential age, will, according to him, be partially led by crypto assets. I agree with that. Quote, remember in the exponential age thesis, assets with secular adoption trend, crypto and tech outperform the global liquidity cycle and all other assets. There will be corrections and all dips are to be bought. Well, that really depends, right? What you're working with already. If you load it up beforehand on certain things, right? But sure, yeah, I do agree that if a bull market is to come soon, like I said, there's a certain timeline on this. I don't want to put mine out there, but yes, these are definitely buying opportunities for individuals who feel that they need to load up a little bit more. Sure. But I think a lot of people have been doing that for quite some time. If they're able to do such a thing, not financial advice, none of this is financial advice. But I think that they've already been doing that for quite some time, to be quite honest. The last ones left, and a lot of us are the last ones left, by the way. A lot of people have left the market, and for what they're telling me, they're not coming back. But the people who are still here, they're ones who believe in the utility. They believe in the projects. They're not going anywhere. They have diamond hands for real. They've proven themselves to have diamond hands. And they have been learning and growing, and they have very, very good strategies. Very good. All right. So now it says, besides Bitcoin, Powell has previously called for a new leg higher for Ethereum, rival Solana. All right. So, I agree with that there is a bull run lurking in the future, but that's given certain catalysts. We will keep our eyes open for that. So, but that's some good news. It says here, well, this is another article here. This is from wolfstreet.com. And it's titled, despite getting whacked by bank turmoil, layoff news, the credit crunch, high interest rates, and inflation, our drunken sailor, my word, what a title. Our drunken sailors spent even more, even adjusted for inflation. It says consumer spending adjusted for inflation and for seasonal factors jumped by 0.5% in April from March. After 2 months of declines and a huge spike in January compared to a year ago, adjusted for inflation, consumer spending rose by a solid 2.3%, in line with the average growth rate in 2019, 2.4%. Americans continue to do what they do best, spend money. Well, wait, let me pause there. See, you have to deal with the psychology of these things. Understand that a lot of people's coping mechanism when they're going through harsh times, and a lot of people are going through harsh times, whether it's financially, there's a lot of people that are not doing well health-wise for various reasons. Coping mechanisms sometimes could be anything from overeating food to spending money. A lot of people buy to make themselves feel better. They're gonna buy themselves a new shirt, new shoes, new cars, new houses. So I think that a lot of that psychology is coming into play here. Very harsh times, and people are still spending a lot of money. There's a reason for that, right? There's a reason for that. They're trying to make themselves feel better so that they can sort of self-soothe through this harsh economic circumstance. You could disagree with that, but this is what I'm saying. It says Americans continue to do what they do best, spend money, and they're outspending inflation just fine. To tamp down on the month-to-month zigzags and see the trend, we look at the 3-month moving average of inflation adjusted, aka quote, real consumer spending. It has been on a normalish good times uptrend despite getting whacked by inflation. High interest rates, a credit crunch, layoff news, lots of layoffs, by the way, that continues, and bank turmoil, lots of bank turmoil. My word, keep your eyes on the banks the next few months. Consumers picked up the pace so far this year after a little slowdown late last year that you can see they have a chart here down below. It says, now they out-earned inflation, adjusted for inflation, aka quote, real personal income rose by 0.2% in April from March and by 1.2% year over year, the biggest year over year increase in 13 months. The quote, real income is from all sources, including interest and dividend income and rental income, but excluding transfer payments, Social Security, unemployment insurance, etc. So they got the biggest pay increases in decades, and they hold trillions of dollars in CDs, treasury bills, and money market funds, which now earn 5% and more instead of 0.2% 2 years ago. And this sudden surge of interest income pushes up their overall income. All right, we're going to stop there with that one. Once again, that's on wolfstreet.com. Great article right on the front page. Great article. Let's move on here. So I like to keep up with the global economy. I know we haven't covered too much of it as of late, aside from the BRICS nations information. This article here is from finance.yahoo.com. And it's titled, Europe Largest Economy in Recession. Anyone looking for proof that the financial markets do not necessarily reflect the real economy need look no further than Germany. Less than a week after the country's blue chip index notched a new record closing high, federal statisticians reported on Thursday that Europe's largest economy is mired in recession. The downward revisions to earlier estimates now reveal total output contracted in 2 straight quarters by 0.5% at the end of last year and 0.3% at the beginning of this one, fulfilling the criteria for a technical recession. Initially, official estimates suggested a decline of 0.2% and stagnation, respectively. So what's going on here? The root cause for the country's ills is shrinking consumer spending over the winter, exacerbated by higher energy costs from the abrupt shift away from reliance on cheap oil and gas. Domestic consumers typically must save a much higher portion of their income due to a comparably low rate of home ownership and the lack of a widespread equity culture. Yet the 1.2% Q1 decline proved worse than anticipated, as 9% plus annualized inflation rates ate into their disposable income. All right, so now we're going to move on to another article here. So this article here is from abcactionnews.com, and it's titled, U.S. Mortgage Giants Placed on Credit Watch. What that means for home buyers. So the credit ratings of U.S. mortgage giants Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae were put on watch for a possible downgrade by Fitch Ratings late Thursday. A downgrade is not expected to happen as a deal to resolve the debt ceiling standoff continues. Well, they said they came to a verbal agreement, something like that, right? Continues to be worked out in Washington. But even the warning is having an impact on mortgage rates. The warning came because the ratings for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are linked to the sovereign rating of the United States. The watch is a result of the ratings agency warning on Wednesday that America's credit rating could be downgraded if the debt limit showdown was not resolved soon. Fannie and Freddie, which guarantee roughly 70% of the country's mortgages, do not directly issue mortgages to borrowers, but instead buy mortgages from lenders and repackage them for investors. They are each a government-sponsored enterprise, or GSE, chartered by Congress. The aim of Freddie and Fannie is to provide liquidity into the mortgage market and enable a reliable flow of affordable funds to mortgage lenders. This ultimately allows more homeowners to borrow at more affordable rates. The enterprises buy loans from lenders, pools them, and sells them as securities to investors. Because they are backed by the government, these securities are viewed as less risky than other investments and considered to be as creditworthy as the U.S. government. You know, we continue to keep an eye on the housing market, commercial real estate market. Obviously, there's been a lot of up and down, a lot of turmoil. You know, they're trying to balance things out. I give them that. And we'll just continue to try to stay abreast of everything that's going on. You know, a lot of people have investments there, obviously, and especially now, a lot of new people are getting into the housing markets with the fractionalized buying of certain properties and such like that, from offerings like Lofty AI and different investment vehicles coming out, both blockchain-based, DLT-based, and also legacy system have their offerings as well. So there's a lot of people getting into these particular things and need to keep up with the pricing on houses. If they're overpriced, what's the availability of housing, right? What's, you know, I mean, all of these different factors come into play. You have a lot of large corporations also over the last few years just buying everything up in sight. That also changes the dynamic of things as well, right? You have a plethora of realtors just quitting and just leaving the market as of right now. We'll see how that affects everything. Some people say it's not going to affect anything at all. I wouldn't go that far. I think it definitely will. So, you know, we'll keep an eye on things as they progress. So now let's end off here with a little bit of gold news. Obviously, there's a lot of people here who are experts. That is their field. You know, real estate is what they do. So if you have any knowledge or something like that you want to share it down in the comment section below, and we would definitely appreciate that. All right. I'm quite sure you probably know a little bit more than I do. So this article here is from fxempire.com and it's titled Gold, Silver, Platinum. Silver gains 2% as traders buy the dip. It was a good dip. It was a good dip. I see why everybody was loading up. Silver enjoyed a strong rebound as traders used the recent sell-off as an opportunity to establish positions at attractive price levels. If silver settles above the resistance of 23.25, it will head towards the next resistance level at 23.50. A successful test of the resistance at 23.50 will push silver towards 23.80. You know what I'm looking for with silver. I'm just watching all the catalysts over the next year or two. Of course, look, all commodities are long holds, you know, especially if you get in at a low, right? And you're probably sitting pretty right now if you got in last year when everything was super duper low. But I'm looking at the catalyst. You have a lot of these new electric vehicles coming out, right? Silver is one of the best conductors. You have a semiconductor race that's going on at this particular time. So, you know, you have a lot of collaboration going on between electric vehicle companies. That's another catalyst to watch in the future. So they're going to need silver. They're going to need platinum. And, you know, just in the regular cars, you're going to need platinum. You're going to need platinum and then palladium as well, right? Because in regular cars, see, these are different catalysts. In regular cars, they're going to use platinum. And I believe they use palladium more now for the catalytic converters, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Those are catalysts I watch as well. So, you know, and then this continued push into the green energy field with what they call those things that collect the sunlight, the solar panels, and you know, I'm trying to keep up the best that I can with windmills being sold, right? So these things need silver, right? I'm sure they need platinum as well for some of them. These two are very, very good conductors of energy. Then on top of that, keep in mind, I know platinum is going to have a shortage because of certain mining cutbacks and such like that, load shedding in South Africa. I believe that there's certain issues that were happening with silver as well. Don't quote me on that. I have to look that up once again. But anyway, we're keeping up with the catalyst that could add a little bit on the top here in the future and have a positive impact on the prices of these different commodities. Gold is a completely different thing. We continue to watch the harsh economic circumstances. The banks are wobbling in the wind right now. There's a lot of catalysts for them. You know, if they have a harsh time, then look for gold to go up. You know, so watch the banks when it comes to that. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.